Welcome back to the shop. I'm Jason, and we are back working on Project Black Pearl again. We are working on a project that has ballooned way out of proportion to what I thought it was going to be. I started with installing an intake and then running into some mixture adaptation values that were kind of whack. And so with that, I thought, well, I'd better get a tune. And then I got the tune and the values are still kind of whack. So then I'm diagnosing and trying to figure out what's going on. I find a bad fuel filter. The regulator is dumping fuel into the intake. Okay, and then while I'm in there, while everything else is going on, I see that my gas tank patch is finally getting worse to the point where I want to address it. And well, I may as well do a fuel pump at the same time, so as I'm pulling everything apart, I have to pull the drive shaft out. This guy is completely toast. And I find that my rear CV joint is completely dry, the grease has dried into clumps, and it's completely ripped on the inside here. Well, if you know these cars, you know nothing is cheap. So this new joint ranges from $300 some odd dollars to $450 some odd dollars OE. As it turns out, Jeeps, certain numbers of Jeeps, use this same rear joint, so I found one on eBay for under $100. I'm hoping that it's gonna work on this just like it says it does. It says it works for certain Jeeps, 5 and 7 series, which use the similar drive shaft. So, gotta cross our fingers there. First, let me show you how I got it out of the car. Take all our dirt outside. That's not right. Kind of looks like the drive shaft, somebody took it out at some point and they didn't know to disconnect this, or the drive shaft came out, or the center support bearing failed to rip this apart like that.
When we got it, wasn't your drive shaft like really loose?
Well, the differential was, oh, maybe that's what it was.
I remember now.
That it had come loose. And that's what caused this. That's an interesting thought. Oh well. Before we drop the drive shaft out, you should mark everything for timing and balance. The reality is I know that this has all been out in the past, but right now I don't have any vibrations, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark the front and the rear and drop everything in the same spot that I put it back in later. To do that, I just use a little whiteout pin, or sometimes I'll use a paint marker if my whiteout pin is giving me trouble. Bolts don't really matter, but where they go does. All right, ear protection. Time to do the shifter too. Again, more stuff when I drop the tranny to reseal the tranny. I'll redo all the shifter bushings and everything at that point.
It's that dang while you're in there.
While you're in there. There's always something else. When I was pricing out the parts for sealing up the tranny and the while I'm in there parts, it's gonna be about 400 bucks. Replace the shifter bushings. But my 15-year-old is getting ready to get his learner permit, and we're probably gonna learn stick on this car, which means I might be replacing a clutch. So I don't wanna pull the tranny until that point because I know it's gonna have to come out then. This is tough to do without slamming your fingers together right here. Our last step to getting the drive shaft out is the center support bearing. These bearings are actually supposed to be gently preloaded, so you'd want to mark where the bearing is, but I know the previous owner replaced it, so I'll set my preload later. And these are another important point. Don't strip out these 13s because the studs are welded in from the top side. So you have to get the center support out to get the front of the drive shaft out, to come back here to get the back of the drive shaft out. Our first order of business, once we've got this guy on the workbench, is we need to get the snap ring out of the end here so that we can get the whole joint off. Take a set of snap ring pliers. You're just going to work this guy off nice and slow. There we go. Once you get a little more than half off, the whole thing will come off. Now this joint, when it's installed, they put Loctite 518 or something like that on the splines to lock it in place. And that means it's going to be on there pretty solid. There is a special BMW tool for this that I don't have. So I'm going to try these 2-jaw pullers on the pry points here for when you're taking it out of the back. And we'll see if I can get this to work or not. Technically, you want to drive out our studs, take off the back half here, the shims, and then get the gator or the boot section off to do this. And really, the whole reason to do that would be to protect the boot. In our case, the boot is ripped all the way around and we're replacing it anyhow. So again, I'm just going to grab from the front. And the whole reason I'm doing this on a cooking sheet here is because I've been soaking this in degreaser because the grease was so hard and gross. I didn't want to have to work through all of that debris. There we go. That pulled it right off. A little stuck. And you can see what's left of the boot in here. Part of what's left. And the rest of the boot here on the end. We should be able to get that off with a set of pliers. All right. Now we can thoroughly clean the end off here for our new joint. And then we have to figure out how to press on the new one. I haven't worked my way through that problem yet. So here's our eBay special joint. It sure feels heavy. Hope it's the right one. It got here really fast. It was 2 to 3 day business shipping. And this came from the East Coast all the way out to the West Coast here. So it looks to me like this is fairly universal because it has this extra sealing cup on this side that would be used on like E46s had a sealing cup like this, where on this car it seals into the drive shaft or into the differential flange using these guys. And there should be a seal on that side, I think. Give me a minute.
Perhaps this is a waste of time.
Well, you might have noticed this isn't the same box that I had on my workbench when I was taking that new joint apart before. A week later and a few frustrating emails and the whole situation, I've got an OE part here. Hopefully this one is correct. Before I judge anything too harshly, I'm going to make sure that this part is correct. As you saw, I just opened it. I haven't opened it yet, and I want to see what we're dealing with. Then I'll go ahead and I'll explain what went wrong, if that's in fact what went wrong. All right, so this should be our new OE joint. There's our BMW Group part number. Okay, so let me explain why exactly I had to go ahead and order a whole OE joint. I had some suspicions that perhaps I was in the wrong in this whole situation because my car does have a 315 diff out of an auto in it, though the part numbers for these joints were the same regardless of what differential I had. So I had a good feeling that I was correct. The joint that I had, now I don't have it anymore, it actually just arrived back at their processing facility today, and I'd better be getting my refund soon. It was a completely different sealing surface right here, or here on the new joint, up against where it sits to the differential on the gasket that seals up against the differential flange. So As I was inspecting all the new parts, I went ahead and I took some pictures. I'll throw them up on screen here where you can see that that new joint had a stepped flange versus this smooth flange. And I sent them off to Gilbert Drives, which is a UK-based company. I don't know what I was thinking ordering from there. They sell parts drop ship from Driveshaft parts out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I said, hey, look, this part isn't the correct part. It won't seal up against my differential. And they said, we've sold lots of these. It's going to work. And I said, no, it won't seal against my differential. It has a step flange. Here are the pictures. I sent them before. And they said, well, send it back. You've already bought it. Okay, your listing clearly states that it's an exchange for this part number that I'm holding in my hand now. It is not an exchange for that. It has a different flange. Well, you have to send it back. So I go through this back and forth with them, and before they send anything back to me again, I went through and I read eBay's guarantee policy. It's going to fit. Basically, that's it. And if it isn't matching the listing description, which this part number would then match the listing description with a flat flange, I would be the one to pay for shipping. I said, no, I'm not paying for shipping. Your part is not correct. So they did send me a return shipping label. Now I just need to get all of my money back. I took pictures as I packaged everything up. Everything was in perfect working order. I cleaned everything thoroughly. I did not apply the grease. It was still in the bag. And I wrapped everything in moving plastic to keep it safe. At the end of this video, hopefully I have my refund and I can let you know how that goes. But that tells me if you have one of these cars, do not order that part. I bought this part from FCP Euro. They have their lifetime guarantee and it's the correct part. So without too much frustration, let's move on from that. The bummer with having to order the OE part is it's 3 times the cost and you have to order hose clamp. You have to order the hose clamp separate, you order the grease separate, and you order the flange gasket separate. So obviously it's more expensive. Whatever, we're gonna move on past that. I'm already way over budget on this car. I'm so way over budget on this car. But what do you do? Let's get this thing installed. So to get our joint installed, the first thing we gotta do is make sure we put our hose clamp over because we don't wanna forget that. And we're gonna need to get it over the large end of the shaft. We also need to get grease into the joint and our Loctite onto the splines. And what I'm thinking is gonna be best for that is if I put grease, let's see, I gotta get it over, then I gotta fill the grease up from the backside. I don't know if I'm gonna get any Loctite on there. I can't see conceivably, unless I split the boot here, how I'm gonna do that clean.
Well, clean wasn't an option here. I had to split it. It got messy. I got grease everywhere. I had to open up another packet of grease. Thankfully, I did get it on finally. I used this little piece of plastic as a cone to get it up and over, cut those clamps off, and then everything was in place.
Now, I've got the joint packed with grease on both sides. Well, I've got the joint packed with grease on the inside. We have to get our seal back on the inside here. And then we have to get the joint hammered on. Now, keep that in there. Line our joint back up. Well, that definitely took a fair amount of force. At the end, I had to use a socket to drive it the rest of the way on to make sure that it was fully seated down. It appears that it's far enough in there to try and squeeze this guy on. There we go. Get half, get the other half. No, we're not going to back out. Can squeeze the rest of our grease into the joint. Make sure we get all the balls filled. We're going to want our face to be nice and clean here so that the gasket has a good seal. Now, ideally, we would get all of these seated all the way in and get everything down tight, but I think we can do that when it's in the car and we'll pull everything flush together. For now, we can get the rest of our joint assembled. We'll get our clamp tightened down here. Easiest way to do that is with a pair of needle nose. Since I don't have the special tool for this, there's a pretty simple special tool for it. Reinstallation goes pretty easy. We want to make sure that our face here is clean. Since we've gone ahead and put our new gasket on the flange of the differential, it sticks onto that side. So having our bolts here loose makes it much easier. We're going to get our bolts started on this side, then we'll tilt up and into the transmission side, then we'll lock it all down right here with our two 13 mils in the middle. So they're not trying to fall out. There we go. Tilt down. Line up on the front side. And up in the middle. This will keep it from falling out. Can't fall out up front. Can't fall out back. And we can work on tightening our hardware back here, nice and slow. We'll draw everything in at once. Warm in the shop today. Today is the 100th day of over 100 degrees here in Phoenix. It's currently sitting at 95 in the shop. I don't know what the temperature is outside. At this point, it's irrelevant. It's hot. So for our center support bearing, it says to pre-tension at 2 to 4 millimeters. What I like to do is just get my thumb on there. And then thumb up there. That's it. We got a little bit of tension on the bearing or our center support. So now our drive shaft is in. We got to go your way quite a bit. There we go. So go ahead and just hold for a sec as we go forward. Oh, these are way off. There we go. Then we can hook up the sensors. Well, it turned out to be a fairly simple job. The hardest part about trying to figure out the whole drive shaft situation was getting the parts correct. The parts that I bought off of eBay, while they had the correct part number, it referenced the correct part number, they weren't going to fit right. They might go together, and like these people said, they've sold lots of them. I'm sure people have installed them without paying attention, but I believe that the seal, one, isn't going to seal because there's no contact point at that flange. And two, is eventually going to allow grease to fling out of there and your joint will fail again. So what I wound up doing was I wound up buying my OE joint from FCP Euro. It was $348.21. That included my joint, the grease, the gaskets, everything that I needed to put it together. So I'm going to consider the drive shaft done at this point, which means I'm going to mark it off of my list right there. My list is actually starting to get fairly well marked off here. You can see behind me, I've got some parts out of the car now, some parts out of the car here. I'm in the middle of my M Sport conversion on the interior, but let's talk about the total. That brings my total up to just shy of $10,000 at $9,934.82. We're gonna be over 10,000 in the next few videos really easily. I thank you for watching. I hope that you got something out of this. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun things. I'll see you later.